Hey everybody, Knowm here, Server X160, the best in the West, proud member of Arkham Asylum, #1 among all guilds in Guild Conquest, doing a great job this season as well. We'll just jump right into it. We have a new Guardian. I'm going to kind of format this video a little different, I think. A lot of my videos are a bit longer, and I'm going to try to just cut this video down to understanding the champion, the guardian in this case, the abilities, maybe do 1 or 2 battles so you can see some of the just skills in action, and then kind of go from there and do another video like a revisit that I've done in the past. Maybe do a live event where I just do a whole bunch of PvP. I don't know. We'll figure it out. So, she looks really awesome. If any of you played League of Legends, she kind of looks like Orianna. She's got the huge fist behind her, very much clockwork, cool crown. You got the strings. She's a puppet, a marionette. She's got the cool silent faces up on her shoulder and legs. A really fantastic character 3D design on this. So. She, I believe, is a tank and a mage combination. So when you're ascending her, she is a member of the agriculture district. So don't forget to place her on one of those whenever you get her. She has the light of grace trait that most tanks guardians have. I think that's a favorite. So if you're looking for a companion to level intimacy, the Jin clan is what you want to aim for. But Light of Grace at level 22 reduces the attacker's crit damage by 20% for 4 seconds, stacking up to 5 times when the caster takes damage. So up to 60%, that's really good. That cancels out Sharp Strikes, that cancels out Ashura's Avatar, or puts a dent in it. So nice counter to some of those heavy damage traits. So Corrosive Power, when dealing active skill damage, reduces the enemy's strength by 25% for 5 seconds. Effect not stackable. That's really good, but we're going to find out about her active trait, kind of how it works with this Corrosive Power, because reducing strength by 25% with active skill damage is nice. At 5 seconds is pretty long, especially because it's going off with the active, so it gets ready to kind of reduce people while they're going to set off their guardian skills. Alright, so let's look into some of these skills. We have Balance of Fate as the passive. During battle, when an allied champion's constitution first drops below 30%, their current constitution is swapped with the current constitution of the enemy champion with the highest constitution on the field. The swapped constitution amount cannot exceed 100% of her constitution. If the enemy champion's current constitution is lower than the allied champion's current constitution, the swap does not occur. Then a phantom hand strikes the enemy champion, dealing true damage equal to 28% of her constitution. I'm assuming they're meaning Fate Manipulator. And she's heavy con base, so that's really nice. Say she's got 1 billion con, that's 280 million from that true damage too. The swap on trigger, the swap can trigger once every 3 seconds. Now here's a couple of things that I don't know. I'm in conflict. So it says during battle, when an allied champion's constitution first drops below 30%. So if they drop below 30% and then they're swapped and then they drop back down below 30%, they're dead meat? Or if they drop below 30%, can they be swapped again as long as it triggers, during the 3 seconds or, once every 3 seconds? So the swap, if the highest enemy champion's constitution is lower than the lowest of your allied champion's constitution, then there will be no swap. So the real thing would be, I was doing testing, but I never really read the description on this very well. Like, normally the descriptions are botched pretty bad. And so with this one, uh, and that's why you want to level it too, because starts off high, like 50% or 60%. And if you swap Constitution when they first drop below 50%, you don't get as much of a drop in the enemy's health from it being swapped. So it says first drops. We might have to do some testing on this and get back to you on that. But from what I understand, though, is either it's the first drops below 30%, so only one time per champion. So this can only happen 4 times or 5 times. Because she does use it on herself, I think I've seen. Unless that's her heal. It's really hard to see with all the graphics going on. So she does some damage at the end of it, but the main thing is she can do this swap. Now, my plans and kind of what I was expecting changes a lot if it's just first drops below 30%. So if they drop below 30 and then their life is swapped and then they drop below 30 again, I'm assuming their life isn't swapped again, which would be good. That's a must actually on this champion. But it kind of spoils some of my ideas. Um, Also, a little later in the video, I'll be revealing a cool trait that I found, a unique cool trait that I found for the Count, Alden, I believe his name is. So that's really exciting. I will reveal that when we are doing the testing, a little bit of testing there. So. The swap is OP. This is the great leveler. I love this swap. Now, if it only happens once per allied champion, that kind of changes things, and I'm going to have to kind of play with it a little bit more. So here's the active. Sanctioned Shelter. Manipulates a mechanical hand to shield the allied champion with the lowest constitution percentage for 3 seconds. During this time, she takes 60% less damage, Fate does, and the shielded ally gains invincibility, so no damage. Both she and the shielded ally recover HP equal to 10% of her constitution per second, and she's heavily constitution based, so it's a big heal. Now, here's the real question. The heal. Um, Sorry, thinking about something. The heal is going to be the same amount no matter what level or how many skill points you have in this. So keep that in mind. As you level she takes less damage during the channeling. And then she has the second part that says, after the shield ends, summons a giant hand near the enemy with the highest damage dealt to attack. So after the shield ends, it summons a giant hand near the enemy with the highest damage dealt, which is going to be an Eldrasil, Queen of Frost, maybe a Count, dealing true damage equal to 150% of the total damage taken by herself during the shield period. So that's pretty nice. So the more damage she takes, the more she's going to deal as true damage to an enemy. And she stuns them for 2 seconds. So that's going to proc Eldrasil's passive. That's going to proc Male Water and Sun's passive if you're still using that guy. The skill cannot be interrupted under any circumstances. That's nice. And also, I don't know if the passive can trigger while she's using her active or her ultimate. I don't know. But she does channel her heal, I believe. Very helpful heal. It's a big heal. 30% of her constitution is going to be like 60 or 50% of someone else's constitution. I think I have her at 1 billion. So that's roughly 300 million. That's a nice big heal for most of my champs. And then, wow. Okay, now get this. True damage to only one person. So her corrosive power, I feel, was a poorly placed trait because it will only affect one enemy. So, both she, and then because the hand only hits one person with the highest damage dealt. Yeah, not that great. Oh, and the damage can't exceed 20 times her strength, and she doesn't normally need brutal. So this is, yeah, not don't the heal is the best part of that. And the invincibility, that's nice too. Next is the ultimate, Judgment Blade. There's no blade, she has fist. So. After a charge up, performs 2 quick slashes forward, with each attack dealing true damage equal to 9% of her constitution to enemies in range. So in my case, they do 90 million each, roughly, plus adjustments. Then swings a mechanical giant hand forward for another strike, dealing true damage equal to 14% of her constitution to enemies in range, and reducing their hit rate by 70% for 5 seconds. Now, that's her best. That's her best debuff right there. I mean, the swap is amazing, but that's a good one. Excuse me. It was good. Threes. Okay. And we're back. So it deals true damage to enemies in range, so it's kind of like right there close by. And it can reduce multiple enemies' hit rate by 70% for 5 seconds. So if you bunch them up with Voidborn or somebody else, then that's going to be fantastic to reduce their hit rate and not allow them to like land anything for a little bit. So really good, really powerful. Not the best. I'd probably level that last. I'd level her passive first, and then her guardian ability, and then her active, then her ultimate. Okay. Her guardian is Sacred Barrier. So summons a giant hand above the densest area of allied champions and creates a golden shield that lasts for 5 seconds. So I think she channels this, so that's also a factor. And I'm not sure if the passive is going off while the active or guardian are being channeled, and I'm not sure if the passive is going off if she's crowd controlled, like stunned, but something's happening where the ult's not going off. And maybe I just had it wrong, and maybe it's only one time per ally. Hence why you need it so much higher level so that you can get more out of it there. And why you would arguably also need energetic on your teammates so that it's a bigger flop. It's a bigger also gain in instantaneous life. Okay, so here we go. Well, there needs to be some more testing done on my behalf. While the shield is active, allied units within the shield become immune to control effects and gain 90% increase in crit evade rate. Beautiful. You need immune to control effects. That's so important in this game. And so, and then the crit rate means you are not going to be, it's going to be level damage. Addition. When an allied unit, or when allied units within the shield take damage, 80% of the damage is blocked, and the damage source receives true damage equal to 100% of the block damage, up to a maximum of 20 times their strength. So there's another strength scaling, but I feel like maybe that's not 80% of the damage is blocked, and the damage source receives true damage equal to 100% of the block damage. So as you scale this thing up, she's dealing way more damage on the battlefield because this thing's powerful and it does absorb a lot of damage. She can still gain these buffs outside the shield's range because she normally holds back, especially when she starts off the game by channeling this. So, speaking of which, let's talk about her Resolve collection. Each time the caster gains Constitution recovery, gain 400 Resolve. If the Constitution recovery effect is applied by an ally, the resolve gain is reduced by only 20%, because if you realize Necrosa, her resolve is cut in half if it's from an ally. When the caster is in a healing prohibition state, additionally restore 400 resolve per second. Cannot gain resolve for 10 seconds after using the skill. So many people are wondering, why does she start the battle off using her guardian ability? Well, that's because your opponent has Bulko, and Bulko makes it a healing prohibitive state, due to not being able to use ults or being sealed. I don't know, but um, yeah, either way, if you're against a Volco, which I run Volco, then I've seen most people who are running her instantly start off with the Guardian ability. And it'll go kind of the densest area of ally champions. So if you have a lot of melee champions, the barrier is going to be a little further forward. If you have because it takes like a couple seconds. Because this is 400 resolve. If you don't have it maxed and you're getting, say, 300 resolve, 330, it's going to take 3 seconds of recovery effect or multiple recovery effects. And most of the time, it's just going to be the bulk of 400 resolve per second. So, and I think, even if it's 300, that's 3 seconds. And she uses that shield while she's still far back. So, you want her on the front line, if preferably, because she's got the tank astrolabe, and that's going to increase her constitution. And she scales so heavily off of it, it's very important. So awesome guardian skill, awesome kit. This champion is the changer of rules. So some things maybe to consider putting on her. I won't put brutal, but maybe somebody wants to. Maybe somebody wants to go with a fierce, because she does have the potential to pump out a lot of damage. So putting a fierce on her could be helpful in rocking that damage. Now, I definitely put an energetic on her because she scales heavily with her max con. Um, what else? Team traits. It's a good way to start that. What else? Yeah, maybe you could do a loyal. I don't know. I almost feel like that would be a waste of it. But if you need her to live a little longer, you could throw a barrier on her. She still does have a significant amount of strength, even without a brutal. So whenever she uses her active, she'll get an additional shield. Um, you could put, again, a hulking. I would probably go with a sanguine on her. She's a good sanguine holder because she doesn't really scale off strength that much. Though a hulking might be nice for the amount that she does scale. So there's an event going on right now. Let's go into the arena and let's see if you could see any of these battles. I think that they're going to be Asylum Jimmy. Hello, Jimmy boy. Hopefully you don't mind being in my video. So I think the first fight is going to be a little choppy as resources are loaded. So we'll kind of see how it turns out. Notice, Male Ascavarge, no fate in this team. So something we're really paying attention to here is, does it only happen once per ally? And I think it does, now that we've really dug into the description. Um, Hence why you want to get it lower. Because before I was like, well, if it swaps it multiple times, you always want to swap it 50% or whatever. Okay, so you see the big orb of her guardian ability. And the enemy must have a Bulko. We'll check at the end of the battle when we check the statistics. So if you'll notice, whenever she swaps anyone, if my teammates get low, She'll swat. Okay, someone. Oh, my teammates just all died really quick. That's a really strong Revenant. Let's look at that. So, wow. I thought I had that battle completely under control. Yeah, that Revenant's pumping out some really good damage. Good job, Jimmy. And then, of course, the Eldrasil just destroying. Um, that's weird. I wonder if I have the right gear on people. I think I do. That shouldn't have done that. So here's somebody, not nearly near me, but we can kind of look at a couple things. Let's do that, because the main situation is we want to see the swap. We want to see the active whenever she links with someone. So here's the thing. It protected my units right here. I only have 4 of them. So she's frozen right now, so she's not able to do anything, and she's sat out for the rest of the battle. Not fun. We'll do a normal battle. More Grave. Are you ready, buddy? Alright, Grave has a great team. Has Fate in there. Has the Void Guardian. He doesn't have the count. Excuse me. I'm a little tired. So, I'm not charging in. And I'm okay with the count taking this, because whenever I tell you the trait combination, you'll kind of understand why I kind of want them to take an early attack. So there's the shield again. Reflecting damage, or sorry, absorbing damage, blocking damage. Okay, so she's already down. So is my other. Wow. My team is not performing. I wonder if I have things moved around or something. That's weird. I'm probably being farmed by some people. Nope. Wow. I don't know why. Maybe people improve their teams. That would be great. Um, yeah, I'll have to play around, look at all my stuff. Maybe it's because I haven't. Oops. Oh, nice. There was a little preview. We should have watched that. Sorry, everybody. So, there was something that I had ready that, oh yeah, the expedition. This is great because you can see her without any accompanying guardians. Just kind of see what she's like on her own. She's horrible, but just it gives you a good idea, anyways. Ooh, diamonds. Oh, that's the count. Sorry, buddy. I'll use yours later. More diamonds. There she is. So we'll move her down here so you could see her abilities a little better. She has no one to help. She has nobody to help. She can't heal anybody, so she can't gain any resolve right now. This is what we wanted. So she does that quick little hit, and then the knockdown. And remember, she's dodging more after that because it reduces the hit of the enemy. So we'll see if she can get up there again, or if she's just going to keep punching them with that big old fist. Bam! That's pretty awesome. I do like that on the strings too. That's pretty cool. She's either controlling the hands or she's being controlled. But okay, there was the fist again. So you could see she dodged a whole bunch right there because he was blinded essentially. Good showing of her ultimate attack at least. I think that's helpful for people. All right. One of the expedition bosses down. Um, I don't know if I've done guild boss today, but maybe I can kind of show you a little bit of that, because she doesn't really do a lot of damage. But you can kind of see her heal, her regeneration and everything. So we're not going to go crazy on the damage. Let's kind of go to a weaker champion here. Alright. Here we go. I don't think he has any of his skills or anything. And you want her in the front row. And remember, if the enemy has Bulko, she's going to start off immediately using her stuff. But right now, she's not doing that. She comes in, she uses her active. There's her Guardian. So you can kind of see everyone starts blocking a lot in there. The block damage is absorbed and returned as true damage. Um, there's her ultimate. She just does the fist punch. And then you can notice female Ignis isn't doing very much connecting with her attacks. So here's the Guardian ability again. Okay, so apparently after she summons the Guardian ability, she keeps doing her thing. Either she follows up with her active heal or auto attacks some more, but she keeps doing her thing. So she doesn't need to sit there on it. So here it is. There's her Guardian. And then she goes right into her ultimate. And sometimes she uses her Guardian and there's her active. She puts the hands around the person. That's just so you know what to look for whenever you're watching a battle. Alright, there's the active again. And then we're going to see the Guardian. And then she instantly goes into punch and then active, and then she'll go into her ultimate. Cool. Okay. Very predictable champion. I think the only thing I didn't quite understand was that it's when a champion first goes below 30%. So it's a nice little extra protection barrier in case your team is getting burst down. Happens a lot. So in this case, I don't think she's going to transfer health. My champions aren't getting low enough in health, so. Oops, sorry y'all. I didn't mean to take so many whacks at it. You could tell very low damage. Again, this person wasn't doing a lot of damage, and she kind of more reflects damage, so. I'm not going to blitz it again. I'll run my other ones later. Alright, so we're almost at 30 minutes here. This is good. Some traits on her. Yeah, defensive traits. She doesn't really impact the enemy a lot. And even with her Guardian ability, the block damage is, if I recall, it's just saved up and then unleashed on one person. So you're not going to want like a impair on her. Okay, when allied units with the damage is blocked and the damage source receives true damage. Okay, so everybody, all the enemies that are attacking your team are taking true damage from this. So you could potentially put an impair on your team so the enemy takes more damage, or on her. You're definitely going to want that energetic. You could do an honorable if you don't have the celestial bonds or other ways to get damage reduction. So those are really good options. Woo! That is such a strong Guardian ability. And again, I really think so. You can see how I have my points placed here. The Astrolabe, I have her on the tank so she can get this extra constitution, stacks twice, like if you have multiple tank Astrolabes. So that's an extra 12%. And then I got about 5% down here, so about, 16, 17% total. Haven't really focused on tanks too much, but maybe I will turn around and kind of change them up because I feel I'm having a lot more fun with the tanky Guardians and whatnot. So, did we want to look at one or two more battles here? So, yeah. Ooh, my team has been challenged by some people. Or wait, maybe I was challenging people. I think that's more likely it. So, let's challenge. I don't know what's going on with my team, why it was a little messed up in the Guardian arena. It was normally teams that I was kind of farming, but hey, everything changes. We'll put the Void Guardian here to kind of soak up more of that male Ascavarge's charge. And then, yeah, I think we'll kind of go from there. What do y'all think? Maybe... No, let's keep him. Yeah, put him here. So check it out. Morgrave has Bulko, so we know she's instantly going to start off with her shield. With her Guardian ability, which is good because that's also another reason why you need to prioritize in leveling that up because she uses it so quickly in the battle. So there it is. It's protecting my guys. Um, check out the count. He's already using his Guardian ability, but the enemy was already dead. That was intense. So look, she's had damage on par with the support, with one of the like a more of a warrior with the count. Um, yeah, that's look at all the healing she did too. She got max healing. She absorbed a lot of damage too. Wow, that was over way quicker than I thought. So we'll give Morgrave a chance. Steph, what are you doing down here? What are you doing? Oh, I know what you're doing. So Steph knows the new trait combination, and Steph is practicing it to see how it works. And I'm really proud because like that's really cool. And check this out, level 888. What a hoss. Like Steph is, I think our server's top right now. Either Grawl or Steph. Grawl's kind of MIA. All right, Morgrave, coming at you again in the spirit of making videos for experimentation. So I do not have a male Ascavarge on the team. I like them with Eldrasil. They're a great combination. Okay, so she does that, and then she starts healing too. So that's really nice. I think that's very helpful, especially with the enemy Eldrasil shooting all the spines in. Okay, see, and I just got taken out this time. So what a weird fluctuation. I didn't change anything. In fact, look, the damage looks even pretty consistent. I think, though, that the Eldrasil got control or got killed. And then once my damage kind of goes down, I am a little free falling. So let's change that up a little bit. Let's put let's put the count back in the P1 position. Or another option is we put, since she starts so far back, you could put Fate in the P1 position, knowing that male Ascavarge might not get up to her. So we'll go ahead and do that. Let's bring Queen of Frost to the front row so she can start getting into the action quick. And let's bring Void Guardian to the back so only he is absorbing Eldrasil's damage and not multiple champions. I think Queen of Frost can probably hold her own if I'm thinking correct here. Actually, the count's going to take it. And I'll explain more about that in just a moment. I feel like positioning is everything. It's so important. All right. See, everybody's protected by the shelter. Queen of Frost is attacking my Queen of Frost. Everybody was protected there for a little bit. Okay, it looks like we're in their back line right now. Someone's low health. Oh, nice. A couple people are low health right now. And hopefully the count can just kind of mop up. Oh, we just got heal on Queen of Frost. That was helpful. That active heal is nice. And remember, it doesn't scale with the level. It's always the same heal. So keep that in mind. Even level 1, you're getting the same heal, but it does protect Fate more, and it does a little extra damage after it protects Fate more. So if you're putting your fate in a situation where oh, it's a new season. This is great. We get to practice on Morgrave a whole lot. Hopefully he doesn't mind. So this time we'll try her up there in P1. So here's the sphere. Notice a couple of my team. Oh, my Void Guardian was outside of the sphere, and he got insta-fragged. And with him going down, then Eldrasil went down, and then the rest of the team went down. That was a really good example of how important positioning is with the Fate. So Fate, she puts her Guardian ability in the densest group of allies, and that helps you weather the first attack. So by a melee being up here, she would put the sphere a little closer to the battle lines, and that will be helpful because it'll get the Void Guardian over here. Or if I didn't want to do that, I could potentially do something like this, and then the sphere would be more. No, I don't think that's going to work either. So we're going to do this. All right. Keep Eldrasil alive. Keep them under control with Queen of Frost. My Queen of Frost keeps getting controlled right off the bat by their Queen of Frost. Okay, pretty even game now. Oh, here comes the count though. People are within execution range. My Void Guardian is down already. So Fate is still up, so she could still transfer. Is she gonna transfer anyone's health? Oh, she transferred Eldrasil. Oh yeah, and that allowed for a kill. Now, if Eldrasil drops down again, then he might be out of luck, but that didn't really matter as we got the win. Good job, Grave. And then we'll taste this one more time just to make sure that this wasn't some weird fluke. So there's the perfect shield. My Eldrasil is in the back. I don't know if he was protected by the shield when Queen of Frost came in, but okay, everyone's in Count's execution range, and we go ahead and clean up the enemy team. Yeah, good job, Morgrave. Oh, I can't wait till I get Bolko to 15 stars. It's gonna make quite a difference. So now we are going to experiment with something very, very interesting. Um, No, I'm not going to. But I'm going to kind of fill you in on what's going on with the count. And what we'll go ahead and do is make a simple team like this. Kind of puts us more in range. We'll put the Queen of Frost in the back. Now, I want you to watch the count's resolve. So how he collects resolve is every time he deals damage, he gains a certain amount of resolve. At some point, it's like 333. That's not the max. So watch his resolve gain real quick. He hasn't even, he got off his active, but that was it. And then he's able to jump into his, straight into his guardian ability. And some people have put an agile on him. Some people have put different solutions to his inability to stay out of crowd control. And so I was messing around with some traits, and one that ended up working really well for the count is dun 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 vengeful. This is the Karguk trait. So upon being attacked, that means by skills or auto attacks, there's a 20% chance to reflect 20% of the damage taken. Now the reflection is counted as the count's damage. So now let's look at his guardian ability. I have it level 18. Targets the area with the highest concentration of enemies and throw 2 beam swords at 2 random enemy champions in sequence. Each sword hit deals this much strength damage, stuns the target for 2 seconds. She then leaps to the target area and performs a powerful side sweep, dealing 100 or 1,143 strength, true damage to enemies within range, and permanently reducing their current constitution limit by 8%. Additionally, and so by the way, you want her guardian ability to go off a whole, or his, to go off a whole lot, because it keeps reducing their current constitution limit. Additionally, when this skill is activated, Elena enters an 8-second dominion state during which her attacks will execute enemies whose current constitution is less than 1239 of her. Okay, and it's not letting me scale here, or scale. I'm talking about too many things here. So I'm going to go ahead and show you in here real quick. And I know this is making the video a little longer than I planned, but this is bonus content, so be happy. So check this out. During battle, Elena gains 400 resolve at level 20 for each instance of damage dealt. The return damage from the Karguk trait Vengeful is considered damage dealt. So she ends up, if you have the count in position 1, and there's a lot of enemies attacking right at the start, and arguably you don't want the count to really block those with the Fate ult. It's kind of a toss-up there, so you might have to work with positioning on that. But it's a fantastic little situation, and the second... and then we'll talk about the Fate's traits that I have on her and that what I think will be good with her. Um, so the Vengeful's on there. I have Barrier, so every time he uses his active, that's more for protection. You could go aggressive. Another cool thing is Vengeful procs aggressive. The charges for the 10 attacks for aggressive to go off, or to get maximum 20%. Another cool one is I'm putting energetic on him. He's teaming up with Fate, so she does this swapping constitution based off of a percentage. Um, so yeah, and then also 30% is getting pretty low. So you want to be able to live like a really strong attack or whatnot. So having that energetic on him, I'm going to give it a shot. I think it's going to work pretty nice. Because think about it, he'll have more max con, so when he swaps health with the enemy, he will be way up there. It does go off percent though, but it's only the first time, or that's what the passive says. So yeah, it might not, maybe the energetic might not be the best tool, but barrier does really well. And then on her, you want to do some group traits. I have sanguine. I put on impair on her since she uses her guardian right off the bat, and everyone's attacking your team, so there's a lot of return damage. And I figure that's proccing impair on everybody. So increases enemies' damage taken by 8% for 4 seconds when normal attacks or skills land on them. Stacks up to 3 layers. So it's a skill. It's her guardian skill, and they're taking the damage. So I think I'm probably going to take impair off of her. Honestly, I have another strategy for it. But yeah, there she is. I don't have her very advanced yet. I don't have her ascended to 18 yet. I only have 13 vigor on her, but she's able to make a huge difference. My team 2 with her on it has taken some team 1s, and so it's a really cool balancer in the scheme of things. So definitely team synergy, Mel Soulkeeper, the Count, because as she swaps people, then they can potentially execute them. Who else is good with her? You kind of want to protect her too. So Void Guardian's good. Mel Esterir is really good. Male Umbra could help out with some shields. Uh, ooh, tired. This is Knowm After Dark. There is the female Nordalsar could go really well with her. You could potentially have male Ascavarge because he's gonna probably drop his health pretty quickly, and if she swaps that, then that means that he can then go into his ultimate and stay longer in the battle. It actually works pretty well. So yeah, she's gonna do fantastic with a lot of champions. Arguably, if you have Mel Esterir and he gets low health and he dies and he comes back, if he gets low health again, it might be triggered for the first time again, and she might swap as well. So pairing up Mel Esterir with her is a really good combo. I sacrificed mine a while back, and I'm regretting every bit of it. Um, who else could be really good with Fate? Nobody I'm seeing off the. She is a melee champion, so she could go well with male Ganesh or female Ganesh if you need energy for her. But yeah, I can't. She's not going to go that fantastic with that many people. Um, she's kind of got this very interesting niche. But the point is you can kind of just plug her into your team 2 and your team 3, and she's going to help them make a difference in their battles. So I highly recommend this champion. I think she's fun to watch too. She kind of does add a lot of bells and whistles and glamour, so it's hard to see. But if you focus on her specific abilities, I think that that works really nice. And I did say I was going to keep this video shorter, and it's under an hour. We got like 47, 48 minutes here. So thanks for watching. I appreciate you like always, and hopefully this video has been helpful for you. Tell your guild mates if you think maybe it could help them change their game, or if they're trying to decide to get a new guardian or a new champion clan. I like to get information out to people. I like to do the calculations. I'm really like this strategy. I'm an electrical engineer by degree, so it's kind of my thing. But thanks again. Please like the video, subscribe. That helps me out. If I hit like 1,000 subscribers, then I'll get even more bonuses, which will help my account grow quicker so I can bring you cooler content. And then I'll do a revisit on Fate where we'll do Valley of Conquest, we'll do more Advanced Arena, we'll do some Dungeon Descent so you can kind of see some of that as well. Oh, I guess people are attacking me in here. What's going on? Leave me alone. Why am I 8 already? Oh, I knocked myself down to 8, I think. Anyhow, yeah, fun, fun champ. Lots to kind of experiment with. If you notice any cool things or cool synergies, please leave a comment. That's really helpful. I like to consider everything, and I do miss a lot of it. So, point it out. Thanks again, and I'll catch you in my next video. Peace.